Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a good Friday today. I hope you've been having a good week. We're finally getting back on track with our schedule, continuing on with Celeste. We made some good progress last time. We made it all the way to out of 5C through 6C, and we're starting to make some semi-decent progress on 7C, although I'm pretty sure we're going to be stuck for a fair bit still. But let's see, we got Dude as always. Very good to see you. You doing all right there, Ahmed? Are we trying to emulate what Kevin sounds like in this game? In the meantime, we'll try to get started with our warm up to get out of here. Search what you said. I am not going to take that. I'm not going to take that advice right now, but thank you. I figured that it probably was not Celeste related. I'm just unsure as to what it has to do with anything. Rubik's Cube? Interesting way of describing a Rubik's Cube. Oops. I meant to do a diagonal there, but that didn't work out. We'll hopefully get warmed up again here soon. Okay, here we go. Oh, went a little too far left on that. Unfortunate. Ow. But yeah, those are these specific inputs on a cube are called, okay. Ow. Yeah, what brought Rubik's Cubes to mind, today? Out of curiosity. I didn't realize I'd actually not hit the spikes for a moment there, so that was panic entirely right there. The error success type of panic. That was what I thought I had done. Oh. Curses! Headbutts again. Ow. Just that you saw your cube when the notification came. Ah, okay. Interesting. Ow. Yeah, we're definitely gonna be more, Swiss cheese by the end of today, clearly. Ow. I messed that up all the way there. Just right from the get-go. I take it those are more, inputs on a, Rubik's Cube there? Rubik's Cubes always struck me as interesting, but I've never been very good at them. Honestly. Someone solving one is magic enough to me, and then there's people who solve solve them in a speed run, and I'm just like, how? Oh my, you've missed so many streams. It's good to see you again. I hope you're doing well. We've made a good bit of progress. We're deep into the seasides at this point. Unfortunately, I'm still dying, but, you know, that's how it goes. Currently facing 7C3, the dreaded. As people have 4 rooms left, yeah. Ow. I've made it somewhat of a distance across this one, at least, but, I haven't made it all the way to, let's see, I've made it about to here-ish. And then I have to get through all of this and that. And somehow make it all the way over here to where the binoculars stop, which I still don't like. I fear what's on the other side of this. Excluding Chapter 9, of course. At least you didn't miss the finale. Yeah, we're a ways away from the finale at this point, I think. Still. I'm slowly improving, I want to say, but, ow. We're probably, a few streams off from that still. But yeah, it's good to see you. Should try using assist mode on a different save file to train. I could maybe set something up in the background, especially since I've been kind of debating taking a slight break after the Seasides, because it's been a lot of Celeste. We have been doing a lot of this game. If you remember correctly, there was one streamer that took like 2,000 attempts at this part. Everyone was so happy once they made it. Do take a break. Okay. I will heed that, This took you 7 hours? This room? Yeah. I can definitely see that. But I mean, like, after the, after doing the remainder of the seasides, you know, before coming back to do... Ow. Before coming back to do... Ow. Before coming back to do the... Start chipping away at Farewell. HC3 took you 1.5 hours? Well, I shall look forward to that relatively light challenge by comparison from the sound of things. Took you 2 to 3 hours or so, you don't really remember? Well, I know that it's already taken me longer than it took me to do, or at least I'm pretty sure it's already taken me longer to do this, the 7C, than it took me to do 6C. Ow. I don't know why I'm suddenly, like, just dying right there. I don't know what adjustments I've made that have led to me doing that. I would love to even make it back to where we were last time. There we are. Well, we're starting to get in that general direction, at least. Owie. You said in settings, although I can't really see that right now. I'll have to see possibly after. Installing Celeste just to check this. Alright, okay, hold on. Let me take a look-see here. Well, I could turn on a speedrun clock there, okay. Yeah, almost 2 hours already makes sense here. There's the whole file. I am turning it off for just general purposes because, the clock running will probably be more distracting to me than anything. But I'll see about checking in from time to time on that, though. Dang it. It helps as in, it helps you know how long it's, well, I can see where it would help one know how long it's taken them. It's just, I know me with my very ADHD, distractible, vision, that, you know, watching the numbers tick up there is gonna potentially, you know, cause my eyes to drift that way, and I'm gonna keep dying more and more, you know. Not that I'm surviving terribly well to start with, but... I think I'm getting punished pretty much well enough by the amount of precision platforming and such that I'm having to do here based off of what Supsy was telling me last time. If I remember correctly, who was telling me about, like, this is why this is suddenly so difficult, basically, is that it just gets so much more precision based. You suffer from self-diagnosed ADHD. Ah. As for me, I have been diagnosed, and I know that I'm extremely distractible, and it tends to cause me a little bit of anxiety too. So that doesn't really help me too much to have a constantly running timer. In my personal experience. If it works for you, that's great. Different things work for different folks, you know? Ow. I thought I had missed that completely. That was not the first time today. The time from progress is in total of all 3 sides. I assume rooms in this case. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what it counts. 2 hours sounds about, cumulatively sounds about right for this level so far, for me. Ow. If I can consistently make it back to that one area, that would be fantastic. I'll count that as a major win for today. Oh gosh. Well, we made it there once, at least. Dang. Chapter time only counts time for the last death in the first room. Interesting. This will be done in 2 streams, trust. But the question becomes 2 streams as in counting from the start of today, or counting from the amount of time that I spent on it on Wednesday. Ow. Yeah, this is the second stream working on it, where I spent like a good chunk of it on this level. Not specifically this room. Well, probably specifically this room. I made it through the others pretty well, I thought, but... Hey, Supsy, how's it going? This level looks extra spiky. Yeah, you're right about that, Hawkeye. Good to see you, by the way. I hope everything's going well. Pardon me. Dang it. One of the times I don't want to do a diagonal. Curses, as I say. Yeah, I had a feeling I was way too far right on that. Or not right. Left. I got my right and my left mixed up. That's not usually my thing. But yeah, this level is indeed extra spiky, Hawkeye. It's not even just this section here. Like there's all this, Hawkeye. There's all this, then it opens up a little bit. There's a little bit of spikes here. And quote unquote little bit there. And then we're back to all spikes all the time. You've heard absolutely nothing and you don't feel like being a dentist today? Oof. You'll be less chatty this stream because you're going to have it in the background while cooking again? Alright, well. I hope cooking goes well. What I agree with the question. What's on the menu? I'm very curious. Try spamming dash in the upward double dash section. Well, I think I've got a more or less, as long as I get there, a more or less decent way of handling it, but I'll give it a shot. Ow. Ground beef teriyaki donburi. Nice! Again, presuming that I get back to there safely is where I'm gonna be trying to do the spamming there. But I think the timing isn't a consistency thing to do. Okay. Ow. Ouch. Isn't a consistent thing to do. Okay, well that was basically that was attempted spamming number 1. I'm not counting that one as an attempt at that because I was too far left anyway. Searching that up, it made you hungry and you're already eating? I know others mentioned spamming, you know, before, but I don't know if that's the... I'm a little unsure about whether it'll work for me in this case. At least consistently. Ow. Ow. Face full of spikes. Definitely do not recommend. Switch back and forth to not get bored. Well, I haven't been getting bored. I appreciate the concern, though. Oh, I'll have to read that in a moment. Okay. The game said I read it now. When this is all over, going to complain to insurance company. I understand things take time, but this whole situation was supposed to be done by end of 2025. According to the shop themselves, yeah. Oh, I will? Okay. I'm not gonna say I disbelieve you on that, because clearly I haven't spent as much time on this as some folks have, but... Spamming is 100% consistent because it guarantees the dash comes out the first possible frame. Of course, that can mean consistent failure if that isn't the right timing. That's understandable, yeah. And if I'm not in the right position in the first place, right? So... if I'm too far left where I wouldn't be clearing anyway. Like that. Ow. Yeah, I just missed the spring there. Thinking about... oh. This is why I was saying, you know, ADHD, you know, moving stuff kind of distracts me. You know, I saw that message pop up and I was like, ooh, what's that? Thinking about doing 7C3 on mobile. I wish you, good luck on that. I don't think I'd ever personally go for Celeste on mobile just because I'm not particularly... hold on. Okay, I'm not particularly a mobile gamer. Ow. So I wish you much luck, because this is difficult enough with controller and keyboard, I'm sure. So doing that on mobile, I'm sure, is its own challenge. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna hit the spikes on the jump over. Should you try right now? I mean, that's up to you entirely, Ahmed. The thing that irritates you is unless you hound the shop, you hear nothing at all, and insurance hasn't said anything to you since late 2025, so clearly nobody's checking the situation. Yeah, that definitely sounds like they haven't checked back in. That definitely sounds like nobody's checked back in, Hawkeye. Dang it. Curses. Why would you want to torture yourself with awful controls? I mean, folks opt into interesting control schemes all the time for games, so I can't really say too much about it in like a judging manner or anything. Just going, all right, well, if you want to, you know. course, I also remember playing games on Flash games on Congregate that were deliberately designed to be unfair and have horrible controls. So, you know, there's that also. Like, I can't judge because I used to be that that person who opted into playing like the unfairly difficult in some regards games, you know. It's not quite exactly the same as awful controls, but you know, it's the why would you willingly want to torture yourself angle of it, you know? Were you into platforming games before this? Yes. I've never really considered myself like particularly skilled at them, but I've played quite a few of them. Of course, it's also the case that I'm a little older, so my reaction times are maybe not the best anymore. So, you know. Yeah, I played enough of them that it was like it wound up being kind of a surprise, like, oh, all the way back with all the way back, like, towards the beginning, I was like, oh, we are working with Mario rules here. Like, I didn't realize I could stomp things because I played so many in the meantime that didn't allow you to do that. Expect a good skill jump in platforming even in games that are not based on platforming. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure this is going to help me get most other things at this point. Like, boy, I wonder what would have happened if I'd have done this before Hollow Knight, you know? Next up, Dark Souls games to learn how to roll in games. Okay, Dark Souls is one of those that I appreciate from afar. I look at some of the stuff that goes on in those games and I'm like, maybe if I were younger and had my reaction times, I'm not 100% sure, you know. I'm not 100% sure I can get good, as it were. But we'll see, maybe one of these days. I can't promise anything. To be clear. Ow. I definitely... I wasn't ready to go on that one. I thought I was already dead. To be quite truthful there. Ow. Dang it. Eventually we'll start making it past there consistently again. You've seen someone's 50-year-old dad beat Elden Ring, I'm sure. Reaction times are different from person to person as well. Let me just take another gander here. Yeah. I'd love to be able to make it back to this consistently, game, if I, you know, if you could be just a little kinder to me. I know that it's all up to me to perform on this. I just asking for a little leniency, perhaps fruitlessly here. Time's up. Got stuff to do. All right, we'll see you later. Please take care of yourself. We should be back to our normal stream schedule soon after a whole bunch of chaos happened this last couple weeks. You can assure me it was not because you had good reaction times. Gotcha. Well, I mean, when people are talking about, like, the roles and whatnot is, it's like, what attack is coming at me now? And deciding whether to roll or do what. You know, that's what I'm talking about in general when I'm talking about, like, reaction times and, you know, the think quick type of, situation. Ow. But maybe that's just me speaking from the standpoint of someone who only has watched those games being played. I have not actually picked one up of those. It may well just look harder than it is or something. I don't know, but they do have a reputation that kind of precedes them. You know? Well, we're starting to make it back to that section. I'd like to be able to clear it now. Perhaps. Maybe. I'll tell you something that might be affecting my concentration that I forgot to do. I forgot to turn on my desk fan. That might be a little helpful in the middle of summer, huh? It's not going to be an instant fix, but... Just a reminder of what's coming up if I happen to... So I don't panic if I actually get a good run going here. Not that I expect to. It's gonna be a little bit more warm-up, clearly. But yeah, maybe one of these days I might look into just, say I've at least tried. Owie. I can't guarantee it's anytime soon. I do think I have some in my library just from Humble Bundles and whatnot over the years. So in theory, it could be part of a backlog knocking out type of series, but not that I was expect it to be a quick one. Not that Celeste has been a quick one. Because Celeste has also been one that's like, oh yeah, I meant to play this. I've had it forever. I was hoping I could just scrape by a little bit with a little bit of scratching on the toes or something there. Hey Nyan, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. We're still throwing ourselves at the first bit of 7C3. Unfortunately, we're having to make up some of our progress from the improvement from last time. We're not quite to that consistency again yet. Ow. I even felt that my hand was pointing in the wrong direction on that one attempt. I even felt like it's too diagonal, isn't it? And then I did that. 7C3 of evil and suffering, indeed. Ow. And only Cupton is missing. Yes. Hopefully Cupton's doing well. Oh, you are Cupton, yes. I keep forgetting because name changes. Name changes throw me off constantly. Not to say that you should ever stick with one name. Not to say that you should ever stick with one name. It just like my brain just constantly just like, oh yeah, you know. That's right, you are Cupton. You're probably gonna change it back after a while. Fair. Fair enough. Oh. Ah, wrong direction on that. Oh well. Captain is just your comfort profile picture. How dare? How dare I not hit that one spring? Yes, we do get it. Nyan is captain. Yes. Chaos, chaos. Sorry. What's the farthest I've gotten so far for this? It's still, like, about here. Last time I got to about these, dashes right here. And haven't made it to that cloud yet that I can recall. So that's the farthest I've gotten. So I made a little bit of progress last time. But, getting that consistency is, oof. And I think there was discussion last time of the goal, quote unquote, for today's, improvement is to try to get about here. I think that's a pretty lofty goal based off of how well I've been doing so far, but it's semi-reasonable, I think. You know, if I can start getting this early section down better, I think I should be able to at least get to about here. If you get there, you'll probably get it faster than 3C3. Yeah, probably. Think even your winning run was preceded by 10 failures before halfway. Consistency is a pipe dream. Fair enough, yeah. 3C3, never forget, indeed. I'll sure never forget the... I'll sure never forget all the dust bunnies messing with my sinuses, because that's the hotel, right? Going off of the numbers. I always get numbers mixed up in my head. That is the resort, right? With Oshiro. They may not have even been dust bunnies, I recall at this point. It's just that last room, Oshiro. I remember that. Oshiro from the left getting mad at me for leaving the door open. Right. I let out all the heat. 1,000 Oshiro jumps, yes. Ow. Oh boy. Well, we started getting getting through there again, it seems like. In this case, 1,000 springs and spinners. Dr. Evil voice. 1 million. Oshiro jumps. I'm sorry. That was a horrible impression. I apologize immediately. For precision, this room is the hardest in the entirety of Celeste. Interesting. Okay. So what you're saying is, once I've gotten through this, I've beaten Celeste in spirit. That is a bad joke, because we will not be ending off after 7C. We might take a break after getting set up before setting up for farewell, but yeah. Ow. Just really wanted to hug those porcupines again. If you're bad at precision, you'd think 7C is the worst. If you're bad at tech, you'd hate comb room. If you're bad at length, you will if you suck at remembering 100 different mechanics in one room, 8C. Oh boy. Yeah, I know I've gotta get through 8C. I'm just... making a joke based off of the, precision remark. 8C is annoying because it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, I'll see if I'll see about remembering 100 different mechanics in one room when we get there. We'll worry about it once we cross that bridge. Ow. First, get dem precision down. Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna worry about it right this moment. Hey, Austie, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. We're dying a lot already today. You're chilling? Well, that's good. Especially in the middle of summer. Doesn't get more precise than this in vanilla. Good to know. Ow. We're truly a quote of all time. Yeah, I know, right? But it's not the first time I've made that joke just because, of repeatedly failing as someone is arriving, you know? We're dying today, and in 2 days we're going to die again, and then again. But isn't that just how it goes with Celeste, huh? But also given that everyone else seems to be working on their playthrough. Oh. Everyone else seems to be working on their playthrough in some form. I think we is an accurate statement here. Yeah, we are starting to creep forward a little bit. And then dying at the edge of that dash here, like I haven't done that a million times before. Getting towards the halfway point, indeed. I have my fingers crossed, which is very uncomfortable when you're trying to use a controller, by the way. No, I don't actually have my fingers crossed. It's in spirit. We're gonna try to. We're gonna try to make it semi-consistent getting there. Even if consistency, as previously remarked, is a pipe dream. The fingers crossed for the friends we made along the way. The fingers crossed to the friends reenacting that one video of the Japanese guy fishing for clams going like, "Don't give up! Think of the people around you cheering you on! I'm out here harvesting Asiatic clams and it's negative 10 degrees Celsius. So never give up!" I love my job, please help me. Oh my gosh. Now, I am laughing about it, but at the same time, that is genuinely, that is genuinely a very uplifting and, helpful video for me, you know, is just, occasionally revisit going like, yeah, never give up. Celeste is also teaching you this. Indeed, you know, well, if I weren't taking the lesson from that video and many other folks saying similar, you know, I would not be even attempting Celeste just because it's going like, this is not going to go well for me. It's going to take forever, you know? Oh. That was unfortunate. That was going pretty well for a moment, though. in a much more eternal, struggling way. Hmm. Ow. Celeste also teaches you to never give up IRL. Even if the road ahead of you is covered in meters of spinners and springs. And and spikes. And dust bunnies. And Oshiro from the left. And Oshiro from the right. And Oshiro all over the place, aka the Seekers. And clouds and wall bounces. And Oshiros in general. Ow. I knew I was too far left on that one. I still tried. They're multiplying. Fortunately, the devs had the good grace to not include Oshiros in this level. Oh, I would have been so mad. I'm sure somebody's done it in the modded area, in the modded community though. Something similar at any rate. 1 million forced Oshiro jumps. Gosh, how long would that even take in the middle of a level? Like, I know we're using hyperbole here, but gonna do Oshiro jumps whether you like it or not, right? Or did they include Oshiro in here? Ooh, the scary. Oh my gosh. Okay, that time was, I genuinely got distracted because I thought I heard something at the office door a moment ago. It might have been a cat. He's gonna appear 1 microsecond before you get the heart for real. Oh no. The Celeste devs when they decide to give me a heart attack before I finish this level. I remember you leaving the door open. You're at the stage of cooking where you just sit and wait for timers, so back to chatting. Welcome back. I believe it was, what was it? Ground beef teriyaki donburi? Sepsi, or am I mixing that up with another person's food? Awesome. I remember that at least. I remember trivia. I don't remember what 3C was, whether it was the resort or not. I remember Oshiro, but I don't remember the number. I will dang well remember ground beef teriyaki donburi. Ow. Oh gosh, if it was a Osty, in that case it would just kill everybody. It would be a Tonberry? Yeah, if I remember correctly, the monster from Final Fantasy. I think that's the... Yeah, that's like the little dude with the knife. I haven't played Final Fantasy in years, can you tell? I played mostly the older titles, like 10 and before. So it's been a while. The silly guy with the knife that one-shots you when he finally does his turn, right? You've seen too much, says Oshiro. He then eats the crystal heart and makes you do 2 forced Oshiro jumps to make him spit it out, only to spawn 100 Oshiros from the right. Spinners have the strength to one-shot Madeline. Does this mean? Oh no. You have a Tonberry humidifier in the hotel in Rebirth and you think you've never wanted something from a video game IRL more? Madeline just has 1 HP or something. Ow. Ouch. Alan's gonna have a heck of a headache after all this. How many times will the music loop during the 7C playthrough? I don't know. But let's take a look-see just out of curiosity of because folks pointed out the clock before. Yeah, that seems about right. We are not looking at that again right now. A little under 3 hours on this chapter entirely, and I just messed up because I was distracted thinking about that. Oh my gosh. Okay, we made it to the cloud. That was improvement. That was improvement. If you go over one more time, you can see save file time also. Yeah, I looked at that earlier, We will take a look at just to show everyone. Okay, so we're looking at a little under 3 hours on this so far. And then that's the overall playtime is 61 and a half, argument's sake, hours. So you got 400 or something right now. It definitely strikes me as the type of game you can easily spend that much time on. Like, even just, I don't mean like just from the difficulty, but from, you know, oh, hey, I want to do this. I want to 100%, you know? Ow. But yeah, in case anyone's who arrived after me checking the timer earlier, I am keeping it off of the corner over there just because I tend to be very distractible. Movement in the corner would probably just make me fail more. And add a little bit of extra anxiety to my attempts here, so it kind of helps me stay calm a little bit. Modded Celeste and multiplayer Celeste make you keep playing this game, and goldening, of course. Yeah, the replayability seems very high. Ow. You have it on for some reason, even though you know you get distracted by it. Yeah, and I mean, it works for some folks, you know, having it up. For me, it's just, you know, it's just going, I feel anxious. Ow. Yeah, I do need to still, I do need to get the, Foxolin skin. With all the chaos that's been happening lately, that kind of took a backseat, you know, to just I want to get back on my schedule, you know? You can just ignore it and only look when you're curious. Yeah, I have a rough time with that. I discussed earlier, you know, with my particular case of ADHD, I'm extremely distractible in that regard. I have to do it this hour. I have to do it this hour. I have to do this hour. Exactly, Nyan. Oh, I did not warm my voice up enough for... I did not warm up my voice enough today, it turns out. But yeah. Basically that. Or if I don't get this in the next hour, like, I give up or something like that, you know? Which I don't want to do. I don't want to give up. I want to get through this. Once gave yourself 4 hours after you had like 4 hours of attempts already to do 7C and you still failed. Oh no! I'm so sorry. Ah. I misjudged that so badly. You just have a strong ability to focus and tune the world out, oftentimes to the point of forgetting to do important things. And that's... See, that's the flip side of my ADHD. Sometimes I can do that. I have zero control over whether I do that, however. You know, like, I have zero control over, like, when I get to lock in. Like, it just happens, and then it doesn't happen again for forever, you know? For that specific task that I want to get done. Genuinely, I didn't expect to hit the spring on that. You locked in 10 hours after starting this hellish room? Oof. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Subsy. Like, when I'm locked in, you know, like the hyper-focus side of things, just like, it is so easy for me to forget to, like, how to eat, you know? Or not how to eat, but to eat, just in general. Thankfully, dude helps catch me a lot on that anymore. How do I eat? What is eat? Is it an animal? It might be. Kinda sounds like an animal. The consistency, it's starting to tick up a little bit here. But then we have the push and pull, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. As always. Ow. Recommend tapping a bit to the left at the last spring of this section so you line up better for the tight spike gap. Okay, so when we're talking about that, we mean the last spring of this section, line up better for the tight spike gap. So this spike, or not spike, spring. Yes? No? Or this one? The last one. So this one. Just before the cloud. Okay, it's definitely not that one. Okay. Tapping a bit to the left at the last spring of the section. Okay, I'll try to keep that in mind. Dang. I think I went a little too hard on that. That was not lightly. You died there so many times because you weren't correcting yourself. Very loud and aggressive tap to the left. Indeed. Dang it. Well, we made it to the cloud again at least. So that's still improvement. I think that tap, yeah. I think that tap really does help. Getting there more consistent with now, which is really good. Yeah. I definitely needed the warm-up. Didn't quite tap enough there. Unfortunately, but that advice I think is helping a good bit. Thank you. That was yet another case of I didn't realize I would hit the spring there. I thought I would just go right into the spikes. Really depends on where you land on the spring, how much you have to tap. Yeah. Springs are full of surprises. Indeed they are. But I do know with this being a precision area that the section of the spring you hit, that one you were expecting me to hit, but I didn't. Yeah. The portion of the spring that you hit will affect how you come off the spring. So I know that that's definitely affecting the precision aspect of everything, and I was just way too far to the left on that in general. So that didn't surprise me. Oh. But I almost made it up to that other spring. The place on where you hit the spring is really important here. Yeah. Yes, it is progress. I'm feeling pretty good right now. You know, not that we're gonna make like all the way through the level or anything. No, not that ambitious at the moment. But I'm feeling pretty good about the starting to get there more consistently, even if I'm dying at this point again. Shoot! We're not hard stuck like 3C3, which is promising. Let me take a look at this again. I definitely need to drop more, I think. So I need to bounce off of that. Drop a bit more. Dash under there, and obviously that's a wall bounce. Get that refill, and then officially in the second section, yes. It's like here's the lay out the strategy time, essentially. Need to grab that, dash over here, make it over these spikes. Hit that cloud just enough to get through there and hit that spike, or not spikes, the spring. Don't hit the spike. That would be the worst idea. And from there, we'd be reaching the quote-unquote goal for today. If I make it past that, that's great. But this is the tentative goal for today, is to make it through that gap right there and start working on this. The evil and intimidating where diagonals of death and despair could ruin the entire run, indeed. I'd have to be extremely consistent with my inputs in that section. Which, as we can clearly see, I'm not. But we'll try to be when we get there. Every time. Feels like every time there's a bit of progress. Bit by bit, we'll get there, yeah. And I appreciate the moral support. I was like, time to lock in. And then I immediately face plant in the spikes yet again. I have to think about that one a little bit more right there, because I feel like the more consistent attempts were trying to get a small bounce out of that, not the big yeet. But I could be mistaken there, because it just kind of sends me right up into those spikes. Madeline's relation with the second cloud isn't very good, I can see. Indeed. You might say it's a bit of a tempestuous relationship. Either insta jump or just ride the bounce and don't jump at all. Believe either works. If you just jump off a cloud as you land on it, won't launch you. Yeah. Oh, I remember like that part. It's just going I'm gonna use that joke. Thank you for your service. Every time I make a little bit of progress, it's like we're all the way back here. It's genuinely funny at this point. To me, at any rate. feels so good to make progress, though. It does! And that's what makes it so hard, yeah. Especially when you get good at a section, Oop, well, that happened. Diagonals of death and despair, unfortunately, struck there. There we are. Individually, the tricks aren't all that difficult. It's doing them back to back that's a problem. Yeah, that's basically it. It's just, it's trick after trick after trick. And a lot of my progress is going to ride on a wall bounce in the middle of everything too. So I haven't gotten there. To a degree, I'm kind of dreading missing that though again. Because from what I could read, it was one of these situations where as soon as I come in contact with it, it's gonna fall. So there is no second try on that one. And due to the 50 attempts it takes to get back to the best spot, you completely forget what you planned to do once you got there, right? And panic sets in, and then it's like, aha! And panic is the worst thing you can do in that situation. It's understandable, however. To be honest, the hardest part is the beginning section. I can kind of see that too. If the final section was just one room, it would be close to a free room. Diagonals at it again. No, they're gonna be at it for quite some time, I'm sure. For quite some time. I wouldn't say free, but it would probably only take like 15 minutes. I was definitely way too far left on that, unfortunately. But I still tried. Because what else can I do in that situation, right? It was fail or fail. I might as well fail trying trying to succeed, right? If I told you I didn't think I was gonna make it through there and that's why I didn't dash. It's mostly just remembering some dash directions with controller drift and diagonal of death and despair may be harder, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing that I think will probably influence that section most of all, is just trying to get the inputs right on this controller. Because using the analog stick and all that fun stuff, there's a lot of make sure I don't diagonal in some of these areas here. Followed by make sure I do diagonal in some of these areas here. Maybe it's the nerves of being close, but you had a good number of fails there despite playing keyboard. The last part is mostly don't choke, and I can fully imagine myself having a few moments with that, I'm sure. Dang it. Nerves really make stuff so much harder. Yeah, that exactly again why I don't have the upper left corner with the timer. Just drive my anxiety through the roof, you know, and make things just like 10 times worse. But also the initial up and down section is unintuitive, you gotta admit. Dang it. Curses, as I say. Not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna hit the spikes there a lot sooner. Imagine trying to do some of these curves with like I don't think a feather could quite do these curves over here. It's just... Imagine trying to do that, though. Because that was a sudden thought that occurred to me. Celeste players when they get a pattern recognition tested in 7C3. Oh no. Dr. Eggman's voice has been 17 days still trying to get out of here. Ah. No. Dang it. Basically 3C3 situation. Hopefully we don't have another 3C3 situation on our hands here. Ow. In the sense that it's probably going to take about as many streams perhaps, but you know, the amount of actual time spent here, I sure hope not. Curses. We might actually take like a quick, shorter BRB that... Madeline, that was kind of eerie. Madeline, that was kind of eerie because I just cracked my knuckles too. Yeah. Good to see you, by the way, Autumn Shine Spark. I don't remember saying hello to you earlier, so I hope you're doing well. You're guessing the dashes are easier on keyboard. I'm sure they are, yeah. And I was actually going to take like a quick BRB just to rest my hands for a moment. It's not the same. This will take way longer. Oh, I meant like this section of this of 7C here, you know, to the grassy portion on the other side. That's what I intended to say. Friday's your day off. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. Ugh. Okay, maybe I won't take a BRB, but I'm at least going to make sure my hands are stretched a little bit more, because, ow. It's much harder to miss input directions on keyboard. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm so much more comfortable with analog stick for platformers. So I'm kind of locked into this decision at this point, unfortunately, but ow. Oh, you're 1 degree off diagonal, indeed. Indeed, indeed. It certainly feels that way a lot of the time with the misinputs. You've used the analog stick for Street Fighter 4 before and you were constantly jumping up diagonal while trying to press right, left, right. Yeah, I can definitely see it being an issue for fighting games as well. I haven't played a fighting game in ages. Man, now I kind of... want to go back and see if I've still got it to a degree, but I was never, like, fantastic at them, but... You used to be normal about modded Smash Bros. Smash Bros is probably the... being more specific, Smash Ultimate is probably the most recent one that I've played, and it's been ages. Even still. But, like, I used to play Street Fighter and Tekken and stuff like that. No! I had the complete wrong direction on that. No. I used to play a lot of your first reaction was, no, Smash Ultimate isn't that old, is it? Wasn't it like... Oh, gosh. Was that 2018? Was when it came out, not the last time that I played it, but... It was like the year after the Switch one came out. As I recall. I could be very mistaken. I might be off by a year. Dang it. Well, I at least didn't get yeeted into the spikes or off the side, but... December 7th, 2018. That's what I thought. Like, I ballparked the year mostly because I remember other Splatoon players being upset, like, oh no, online's going to be paid now, you know, like the September before that. And in my mind, I was like, oh, the timing kind of makes sense because the Smash Bros. Is going to be coming out, you know? You tested it, you can do the cloud both by waiting and never jumping or by jumping immediately to not get the boost. Gotcha. But yeah, it's been quite some time since I've actually, played Smash Ultimate or any fighting game, even though I do enjoy them. Let's see. Heard Ultimate has mods, but you don't have a Switch, and the channel that showed up the mods. Oh, I see. Yeah. That does happen, unfortunately. No. My immediate reaction was the wrong one there, I think. Hey, a flying baguette. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Seven C, yeah, we're here. And we're dying a lot, but we're here. You have a Switch and mainly use it for Tomodachi right now. Man, I need to... I do need to get that game at some point, just because I like goofing around in sim games like that too. If you couldn't tell, I'm a very eclectic type gamer. No. There was some video platform you'd never heard of that specifically had video categories for certain political views. Yeah. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down, and yeah, unfortunately that... that does, happen from time to time. Why are we still here? Just to suffer every night. Sorry. I keep wanting to react somehow when I land on that cloud, and that's entirely on me there. But hey, I'm starting to even just make it back there more often, so I'll count that as a good thing. For that cloud, you'd hop off immediately, but hold jump for height. Yeah, I've heard, sorry. Mid jumping around, I was very hard to word. Yeah, I think that falls into the... What is it? Was it the first category that was being mentioned a moment ago? Let me double check chat. No, that was the second category, the jumping immediately to not get the boost. Yeah. Sorry, trying to get my mouse back in place so it's not distracting people. There we go. Okay. I'm just so used to going, I have to get this bounce off of this cloud. Or something along those lines, you know. So I react to it. And it's like, that is exactly the wrong reflex to have at this moment. You can full jump off the cloud, but you think, but think you have to slip off the right. Eventually, you're going to be able to do this from every 10 goes. I don't know. That I feel maybe not quite that consistent, but we'll see. I do appreciate the vote of confidence, though, that I can get there like every 10 goes or so, potentially. There's a leniency mechanic where you walk up an edge and still jump. Forgot if you said it already. I forgot if you said it already as well, but I have noticed it. It's just getting that, that down consistently with anything, really. Ouchies. Curses. Too far left. Unfortunate. It's nicknamed a coyote jump because you're walking on the air like Wile E. Coyote. Yeah, that I can definitely see that being nicknamed. That's a very fitting nickname. Just as long as you don't look down and ruin the cartoon logic, right? Coyote time has to be the most needlessly precise way I can think of to jump off the cloud without momentum. But if it works for you, then it works. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be aiming for it, but if it works, it works. You know, then I won't question it if it works. Like how people are talking about Grandmaster maps and they talk about coyote frames. It tickles me in the same way as that one block being named Kevin. It tickles me. To be fair, you grew up with Donkey Kong Country where you could roll off the edge and jump in midair. Yeah, true. Unfortunate. Eventually. Eventually we'll get there. I'm still worried about what not being able to see beyond that grassy area means, but it's a very vague worry at the moment. It's not dominating my thought process over what I'm trying to do right now. You're gonna do 7C now as well? Well, good luck to you, Neon. This definitely ain't a cakewalk, I'm sure you know. You just did set a personal best of 853 with 36 tests. Let's go. I'm definitely not beating that. I'm way... I'm way past all of that. Hey Toast, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. What kind of food you got? Out of curiosity. Games are going, but we haven't really... well, we've made progress. But we haven't... we've made progress in the sense that I've made it to about here. To almost the point where I can do the wall bounce. The problem is getting back here consistently. And getting this cloud jump here. You alright at work? Got a ham sandwich, chips, and nerd gummies. Nice! You gotta be really hard-headed to go for the deathless, they said about themselves, but the seasides are like a minute long, so it's a quick restart. The nerd clusters, nice. I have tried those. They're pretty good. I always like a ham sandwich. Ow. Oh, here's a fun question for folks. For those who eat ham. For those who eat ham, do you prefer it a little bit on the sweeter side, like a honey baked ham? Or do you prefer it on the saltier side? Darn. Depends what you're eating it with. That's fair. That's very fair. For me, if I'm eating like a ham sandwich, I definitely want a saltier one. It just kind of works better with various sandwich condiments and whatnot. saltier, but the best ham you've had is Iberian ham. I don't remember if I've ever had that. Like, it's a little trickier to get a hold of over here, I'm sure. Also, how you're eating it, you like a baked ham, you like sweet, but for a sandwich, you like salty. Fair enough. I have to be in for me personally, I have to be in kind of a very specific mood to have a sweet ham. I tend to prefer mine salty overall, I think. But especially for sandwiches, definitely salty on that. Ouchies. And definitely if I'm making like a ham stock afterwards, I absolutely am just doing the salty ham because I don't know, something about honeyed stock doesn't sit right with me conceptually there. If you're having baked, how there's a lot of salty food, or at least the way your family does it, salty can end up too much. Yeah, that's fair. You would say no to a salt-baked ham. No. I did it again. I got on the platform and immediately reacted. You don't like sweet things much in general? That's fair. I have a very big sweet tooth. It just, for some reason, sweet and ham doesn't always click for me. You wouldn't say no to a salty ham. Okay. Does 7C3 like ham? I'm not sure. So far we're looking at a no, I think, but you know, that's fair. No, not everyone eats ham. Not everyone likes ham. Not everyone has a diet that can include it for various reasons. Now here's potentially the fight, because we're discussing ham and sweetness and such. I am not a pineapple on pizza person, but I know some folks are. Y'all are free to have your pineapple on pizza, but I would prefer it not be served up to me. Please and thank you. Usually depends on it. If you have ice cream, is that's a weakness for sneaking in for some. But yeah, Hawaiian pizza is usually with ham and pineapple. You know, just like, that doesn't quite click for me. You personally are a pineapple and pizza enjoyer? And same there? Alright. We got a few pineapple and pizza enjoyers. I mean, it's not necessarily that I dislike sweet and salty together. Like, I will destroy a bag of sea salt caramels if you put it in front of me. But we're making Italians mad with this one. Well, I didn't do the instant react again on that. So we're starting to get back there. You don't enjoy it, but you're glad there is some for people who do enjoy it. Yeah, that's about where I am. Like, I'm glad it exists for the folks who like that flavor combination. And to a degree, I can relate with folks who enjoy that flavor combination because I have my own semi weird likes as far as pizza goes. Like sometimes I'll enjoy just the straight up like green pepper black olives. Just give me that, you know, like There's no pepperoni or any of the other stuff that's usually on a Supreme Pizza. Just give me the green pepper black olives, and that hits for me some days. It isn't your favorite pizza topping, though. That goes to broccoli. Broccoli is surprisingly good sometimes. You tend to eat pizza more plain like cheese or pepperoni. And those are classics for a reason. That's fair. That's very fair, Toast. Before I got into a situation with my health where I could no longer eat Pizza Hut pizza, I was a huge fan of their pepperoni lovers pizza. So I 100% get the pepperoni love there too. Dang it. I'm not sure 7C3 likes the pizza talk boat. Heck it, we're gonna keep going. See, he went to play some 7C2, immediately died to the Windows error sound because apparently he hit Alt-Z and apparently Alt-Z opened some helpful program by NVIDIA. Disabling that, let's try again. Yeah, that definitely... Ooh. You don't really enjoy the flavor of most sausage you've ever come across, so usually don't do pepperoni sausage either. That's fair. Sometimes sausage can be a real hit or miss. Y'all are using Windows. At the moment, I'm kind of stuck with it on my current rig. But you know, the next opportunity I have, you bet I'm switching. After everything going on with Windows lately. It doesn't make sense while eating pepperoni. No, I kind of, I get ya. You know, like there's a difference between the between sometimes like the hard sausages and such. You know, the flavor wise and all that. Like usually it's more of like the ground sausage that ends up on pizzas. Ah, dang it. I reacted. I went to dash way too slow on that, I think. It's usually I don't love it, but will eat it respectfully category, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's fair. I get what you're saying. Oh, come on. Well, we're making it back there at least a little bit more consistently. Well, we might call that an acceptable improvement point for today if we don't make much more progress in the next half hour or so. Because it is still improvement. And then me dashing into the spikes again, over and over again. After I say, that's acceptable improvement. Game's like, okay, stop for the day. Dang it. Improvement's still improving and moving forward. Very true. Very true. I don't know why I suddenly went to do the double dash there. I got ahead of myself. I started thinking about playing Mario Kart again. That's what happened there. Because we brought up the double dash last time. You should not be dashing off standing on cloud. You don't think it's possible that way? Yeah, I'm not trying to like, do the immediate dash. Hold on. I keep interacting with this. I'm trying not to do, like, the immediate dash off to the side. That's a, that's an issue. I feel like I'm not quite getting yeeted enough, I guess, is the reason why I'm reacting that way. The diagonal one isn't right either, though, yeah. Don't forget I have 2 dashes to reach the spring. True. Ow. True, true. Yet another case of I didn't think that was going to work. Where I landed on the spring just then. Okay. I had a feeling I was gonna die on that attempt anyway. Just how I hit the spring initially. I was gonna be very shocked if I actually made it that time. We are definitely starting to get to the point where my hands are getting worn out again, but we're gonna keep going. Whew. That's just out of curiosity. Yeah, that seems about right for the amount of time we spent on this particular level. Just over 4 hours here so far. Dang it. Man. Trying to get the right feel for that maneuver there again. I think I'm overthinking it because I did actually make it past that at a point earlier. I was about to say I'm more consistent here now, though, and then I missed that spring. It's still improvement. We'll still say that today is a general improvement, regardless of whether we get to that grassy area or not, or to the area even before the grassy area. Definitely an improvement. Yeah, I'm feeling the improvement too. We're making it here a lot more consistently. I just need to get that cloud working for me. Again. Diagonals of death and despair strike again. Hold on. Oh. What works for you is 2 up dashes after the cloud, no diagonals. See, I think my brain wants to do a diagonal there to try and avoid the spikes better, if that makes sense. Yeah, my brain wants to do a diagonal to avoid that little outcropping right there, which I think may be part of my issue. For at least the first dash, you know? Dang it. You can get the full horizontal distance off the cloud bounce alone. Yeah. Not that one diagonal is necessarily wrong either. Gotcha. Yeah, it's just understanding it logically and then like panicky kind of instincts clicking it, or not clicking, you know, kind of interrupting the logical thought process there. Going, ah, spikes! I'm starting to hit the areas like just before it a lot more consistently though. That is when I'm not dying immediately right there. And that is not how that was supposed to go. So that's its own improvement. Even if distance hasn't been achieved. Starting to hit that one section is a decent amount of improvement in itself. The improvement was the friends we made along the way, right? And the crossed fingers, don't forget. The crossed fingers. The crossed fingers that weren't actually crossed, because that's a very painful way to hold your controller. I don't recommend it. I didn't even have to do that to not recommend that. I accidentally did that. It does look like fatigue is starting to be a significant issue. Yeah. Hands are starting to go like, maybe you should have taken that BRB a little bit ago anyway. that's part of why, like, I only go for so long every time I stream, you know. Fatigue does set in after a bit. But we keep going for right now. Yeah, that was definitely fatigue going like no thoughts head empty on that. Just going, oh, Cloud! Get the big bounce. No, don't get the big bounce right there. Oh well. More practice is still good. Looks like you still got it. Nice! You're able to make it through then, Shine Spark? Ow. The golden... Ah, I see. Hold on. No, I missed the wall bounce. Oh... Oof. But let's go! You got the golden! Nice! We've gotten it before, but it always feels great to pull that one off. I bet. I bet. I am clearly many moons away from that. Myself. That is a grand achievement. Honestly, I'm surprised I cleared that one. I thought I was way too low to begin with. I should not have questioned myself on that one, clearly. To be honest, you imagine the golden just feels like 7C3, but normally, but with a longer respawn of doing 1 and 2. Ow. Oh, I think I just reacted too slow or something on that one. I might be mistaken. Like, I thought I wouldn't make it and hesitated. Again. Or didn't get the right bounce, you know. And that time I just face planted into a bunch of spikes. That wasn't good. That was exactly what happened there. That was my problem. Was face planting right into the spikes. I went, ooh, pointy. See. Oh, okay, I already read that. But yeah, I can kind of see what you're getting at, Subsea, where the golden probably feels like this part, but then you just it takes longer to get back to here because clearly you have to do the other parts of this level before you get back to try again. Chat's been quiet for a minute. Yeah, and that's totally fine. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Because sometimes YouTube doesn't always update and people like to lurk. Shout out to my lurkers out there. Appreciate you. Don't ever feel pressured to chat if you have your hands full. Or are just shy, because goodness knows I am. Well, and I missed the wall bounce again. Of course I say I'm shy and here I am yapping a million miles an hour, but that's also kind of nervousness speaking, so. But yeah, yap too long, didn't listen, the TLDR equivalent. You know, I appreciate everyone who's here, regardless of whether they're chatting or lurking. Oh, I missed that spring again. Oof. still feeling pretty good about the progress today. I'm glad I'm getting a little bit more consistent. Just here playing Celeste as well, and of course, feel free to do so. I don't want anyone to feel pressured that they have to talk or anything. By all means, enjoy yourself. Gotta go back to work and pretend to be a responsible adult. I know that feeling. Hope you have a good day. Have a good day, Toast. Please take care of yourself. Don't let them work you too hard. I messed up with the dash again there. Unfortunate. Let's see. Yeah, that'd do it. Yeah, it would do it. It definitely demands a lot of your attention. It definitely demands attention. Trying to make own progress or focus on not dying. You'll try it. Yesterday ended up working an hour over. You can feel it in your bones, so to speak. Oh no. Oh. At the end of the day today, Toast, please make sure you're resting up really, really well. You know, treat yourself. Give yourself some time extra time to chill. See you later, Toast. Take care. I always appreciate you hanging out. Ow. Again. I feel like the number of times I said ow in this game could probably make a pretty sizable compilation, honestly. Ow, curses, dang it, you know. Speaking of YouTube not working right, you were commenting somewhere and found out it got posted in a completely different channel? It's not the first time. Really? I don't know if I've run across that particular issue before, but I wouldn't put it past, I wouldn't put it past, coding to mess up that way from time to time. Could make a silly song of it. Oh, I can just... I can just hear it now, like, instead of Carol of the Bells, it's Carol of the Owls. Ow, 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 ow. Just pitch shift everything as needed. That is a funny mental image, though. It's on the mobile app. They have ads pop up when where you're about to click and other silliness. Okay, yeah, I can definitely see that happening on mobile, like somehow a lot more easily than desktop. Like sometimes apps are held together with like 2 paper clips and silly string, you know? I'm not saying that specifically about YouTube, just how some apps be sometimes, it feels like. Oh. And then, of course, the ads getting thrown in, that doesn't help a lot of the time either. With how Google's been lately, you'd believe it. Oop. That was definitely not the direction I meant to go. The ads are how Google makes money, and they're a complete mess. You'll report them for all kinds of categories of violating YouTube policy and does nothing. Yeah, I've rarely seen it happen where I'll report something and then they'll be like, hey, we've actually found something, thank you, you know, and other times they'll be like, it's fine, you know. I'm like, okay, whatever you say, Google, I guess. Oh. But if I run across it again, I'll still try to get them to be like, maybe not, you know? You turned off ad personalization out of spite, and now they can't contact you when you send reports. Ah. Ah, but the ad personalization stopped showing me this button is secretly an ad skipper? Tips and tricks with Supsy. Reporting ads also skips ads most of the time, or just closing the video. Or at least was for ages. Have YouTube Premium now, but use that trick for literal decades. Ah, gotcha. Now I'm because I'm thinking of like the Carol of the Owls. I'm like super self-conscious about saying ow. You know, like I know I brought up the subject in the first place. Now I'm just like hyper aware of it, and I'm just not saying anything. Gonna make you sing Bohemian Rhapsody now. Oh, gosh. And please don't remind me that YouTube has been around for decades. Remember videos before YouTube? Same. Same. Yep, I messed that up. Yeah, I remember. I remember when YouTube was new. When it was the new kid on the block, so to speak. Before it became this monolith. Oh, yep, there's dude going, back in my day, it would take a whole minute for a picture to load line by line. Back in my day, connecting to the internet used to sound like you were summoning a demon. Back in my day. So, I'm gonna stop because I'm laughing too hard now. I wish I could still legally summon demons these days. Society forbids everything these days, right? Can't even do a proper demon summoning anymore. Can't. Can't attempt to speak to Aunt Margaret under the full moon anymore. You know, I know she's been gone for a decade now, but dang it, I miss the old lady. Oh, you've seen YouTube change a lot. You're not quite old enough to properly remember a time before it. Yet another case of I didn't think that was going to I didn't think I was going to live through that long. Yeah, definitely fatigue setting in, and you know what? It's about time for me to be calling it, but we'll give this like 1 or 2 more shots. Unless I die immediately, in which case it might be a couple more than that, but if I get a good distance... Yep, okay, that one counted. And we're not gonna count that one, actually. Because that was early enough. Okay. Twice, though. Twice we'll call it on that. But thank you, everyone, for being here today. We didn't quite get through here. Well, when I say quite, I mean we didn't get through here at all. But we managed to make some progress, which is good. And hopefully, we'll be able to make even more progress the next time that we pick up Celeste, which will probably be Wednesday. Because I do still have the intent of rotating in some other stuff in the meantime. But regardless of what we end up streaming on Monday, please take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you all then. Bye-bye! Have a good weekend!